one. We've got RIP Takeoff. We've got RIP Takeoff. Excuse the light. I'll tweet that in a minute. Big show tonight. Got Robocop coming to town. Robocop coming to a big city near you. Chi-Town, you can cue the show when you're ready.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Fair use, one and all. Like, share, subscribe. Business.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying
All the way through the show.
to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the self-love show is a lesson, not a lecture.
And even in this instance, if I could be of service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
I'm just a kid from Chicago. Chi-Town kids in the building. Big ups, big ups, big ups. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Chicago's very own The Self-Love Show. We got two mottos. Motto number one is on earth as it is in heaven. Motto number two, first, all praise be to the ancestors, to the Most High, and to my mama Sky, always. Motto number two, as above, so below. Right now, we can be found Malcolm exclusively right here on this YouTube station. This ain't that network, or as we say, TATN. Huh?
Maybe I need to pray or take the easy way. Somebody call Minister Farrakhan so we can meet today.
TATN. This your co-host 9 Millie. What down, what down, what down, what down. Repeat after he. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. We live and live in color. Today is Hump Day, Wednesday, 12/14/2022 at approximately 8:21 at the Heezy. As always, we love to acknowledge you cats can be any place in this magnanimous universe. But thankfully, we all scooter chose to be here together. That's right. Here together. What down, what down, what down, what down, brother Wordsmith? What you manifesting, sir?
Love, you know me. Manifesting love. What you manifest?
Ditto, bro. Pure, magnificent, magnanimous, unfettered, unfiltered. Some say harsh. Others say tough. Pure love, just the same, bro.
No doubt.
Hey, what's been happening in the Shy since the last Self-Love Show?
Man, put them blicks down. Excuse me.
Put the blicks down.
A rash of robberies. And I'll need to cut it out. Robbing people.
Man, robbing self.
Man.
I mean, you know, I can't call it nothing else. Essentially, that's all it is. We're all one self, huh, self?
Facts, one mind. One mind, one spirit, one soul. Acting like we are separate.
Yeah. Yeah, we're essentially like the Borg. We're all one, but we're different from the Borg because we have the illusion of free choice.
Yeah, we don't have the hive mind.
Yeah, but are we making these choices? That's the question. It's a philosophical question. When you generate that thought self, is it coming from somewhere else? Is this just the avatar, or is that original thought? Or has it all been programmed in you into your theta? Go ahead, though.
It's being projected from somewhere else. That's for sure. This is, this is a vehicle that I'm in, but this is not me, and not all the way in here. And this whole reality is kind of spooky because none of it really exists. Our brain interprets these senses and puts it in here, and it's
I was watching a YouTube video, bro. It was an A&E something. Might have been History Channel, but where they do the true crime. And it was a lady who said, she'd been getting, molested, what have you, by her dad as a kid. So she was out drinking and driving. She had a car accident. But she said all she remembers is just seeing gold. So while she was in the coma, now she happened to be a serial killer. You know, she's in jail now. But she happened to see gold self, and then she's in a coma. She said it was like she was in another dimension. To your point about reality.
Yeah.
And it was just all gold. And she said when she came back like 2-3 months later, back to this reality, she said it was a lot to take in and to I mean, you had that experience when you got hit.
Yeah. Definitely. A whole lot to take in. And the vehicle was all beat up and mangled.
Yeah. And you come back into it, and
it's like, oh, what the? Oh my goodness!
I can't move.
That's why I was out of this vehicle, because talking with the God, because this being in this thing is not fun. Senses turn back on.
Yeah, I've always wondered, because you hear, life is just a dream, et cetera, et cetera. I've often wondered, is this the dream? And then when you make your transition, that's when you what?
Well, when you go to sleep, you in reality.
So when you go to sleep, you wake up, big ace in the place.
Facts, because these bodies need time to readjust and heal. So that's what the sleep is supposed to be for. So, and you get out of there. The soul gets right on up out of there. Lets that thing rest.
Interesting. All right, what to expect today? Of course, we always have the Self-Love Show quote of the day. Our MGD video, More Growth and Development. That's the platform. It's less than 1 minute. And then Self-Love and I, we unpack the video du jour, or I should say of the week, where we analyze with you, the chat, the viewer. And you can type in the comments if you're not watching it live, whether this is tyranny, that means you're giving it a thumbs down, or if it's not tyranny, good for the government, you're giving it a thumbs up. Then, of course, we have the dome teaser, and then that's a riddle. Your mind is a muscle. Use it or lose it. So we'll give you the riddle, and then at the end of the show, we'll close it out and give you the key to the riddle. Feel free to type it into the chat as well if you think you're smart enough to have the answer. Tonight's topic, robotic cops approved for deadly force in major U.S. city. Initially approved, we had to change the title. I think YouTube knew and society knew that the Self-Love Show was about to get on their ass. But there's been some changes, some pullback due to the public uproar, but we're going to cover it. And then, of course, we ended with my favorite personal part of the whole shebang, and that's where this brother to my right summarizes everything in a poetical, metaphysical, off the top of the dome, off the rip piece of prose, which he seems to manufacture out of his avatar week after week. All right. First, any announcements, Self-Love? Do you have any announcements?
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share far and wide.
Facts. I can't say any more than that. Yeah, and RoboCops. We want to hear how you guys feel about that. Dr. Rue is in the building. Big ups.
For sure. Huge ups. Ace.
Oh, yeah, Ace is in the place. Yeah. And then we got enough of my yapping. I'll let this brother handle his business over here out there.
Welcome to the Self-Love Show. As Nine was saying, we're going to break down the fact that the robotic cops are initially approved for deadly force in San Francisco. Yeah, this crazy, deranged. But y'all know how we do here. We have the More Growth and Development platform, which we are building the Self-Love Nation off of. And before that, we have the Self-Love Show quote of the day. If a dog is biting a black man, the black man should kill the dog. whether the dog is a police dog or a hound dog or any kind of dog. If a dog is fixed on a black man, when that black man is doing nothing but trying to take advantage of what the government says is supposed to be his, then that black man should kill that dog or any two-legged dog who sets the dog on him. Once again, if a dog is biting a black man, the black man should kill the dog, whether the dog is a police dog or a hound dog or any kind of dog. If the dog is fixed on a black man, when that black man is doing nothing but trying to take advantage of what the government says is supposed to be his, then that black man should kill that dog or any two-legged dog who sets that dog on him. Malcolm X.
That man was brilliant. That was brilliant.
Silverback More Growth and Development Platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4,
We're taking it back.
shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless.
Yeah, buddy.
9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
We're closing the gap.
Number 10 is protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Man, know thyself. Know thyself. Facts, good brother. Facts. You guys make sure you tap that like button, share, post this on your social media. We're giving good quality, uncut, straight from Bolivia by way of the spooks. Well, not by way of the spooks, but I'm sure they're out there. So,
Facts, they watching.
yeah, they are watching. Spooks come out at night. The spooks come out.
Yep.
The spooks come out at the spooks come out. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they do come out. All right, bro. Did you see? Wait a minute. We didn't forget the riddle, did we? No.
Yeah.
Did you see 12 on? We got some 12 on 12 crime out there.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not sure I've seen that, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's a case of the Malcolm X is coming home to roost.
Fox 2's Randy Wimbley joining us live with the update. Randy.
Yeah, guys, that cop will be sentenced in a couple of months. And although this charge is a misdemeanor, it's serious nonetheless. Both the officer who was assaulted and the police chief tell me the jury got this right.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Thomas Michael Joseph Jones, guilty.
A jury convicts a Detroit cop of assaulting another in a case that made national headlines, embarrassed DPD, and humiliated an 18-year veteran of the force.
Well, I'm able to get some sleep now after all this time, so
kill those captions.
It's a good thing.
It was a little more than 3 years ago when Officer Tom Jones, a white man, chased down Officer Christopher Williams, shoved him into a fence, and forcefully handcuffed him at the department's training center, where roughly 100 plainclothes cops were logging hours to meet yearly training standards. Jones saw Williams with a large amount of cash on his person in the bathroom of that training center and suspected him of wrongdoing.
For him to work the
Got
street.
a black man with cash.
Right.
What will he do to my grandmother? To my mother?
He's wearing a Crenshaw hat. I need backup.
I hope he won't put them in cuffs for having money on them.
The element of race doesn't escape me either. That this white officer saw fit to tell this black man that you're not supposed to have that kind of money on you.
Chief James White, who was an assistant chief
like
at
he
the
came
time,
over on the
panned
slave
claims of racism and said Jones's actions were not unreasonable if he suspected Williams of a crime.
With regards to you know, the actions of an officer encountering someone with money, that's never okay.
The chief says his initial assessment of the incident in 2019 was dead wrong and rooted in bad information.
The briefing that I got on what transpired had a lot to do with people from the outside being in the building and doing work, and you know, that people didn't know who were the police and who weren't because there was so many people in the building putting in a gym at the time. Immediately when we got into the investigation, we found that was not.
So in his mind,
accurate.
it's okay
That
as
led
long as it's not a
DPD to
cop.
send the case to the Wayne County
Right.
Prosecutor's Office,
Basically what he just
which
said.
charged, tried, and got a jury to convict Jones. And although he's still on the job, he's been off the street since 2019, and more disciplinary action
You
is
can kill it.
looming.
If this is, you know, racially motivated and the investigation is pretty much concluded with a few exceptions, that will start after the criminal proceeding as it relates to Garrity rights and things such as that. There's no room for anyone that operates that way in the police department.
Should this guy still be a Detroit cop?
Oh, he gonna do it again. 110%.
All right, guys, the chief told me again tonight that he deeply regrets his initial assessment of the situation, and it reminded him of the importance of making sure that all of the information that he's getting on the situation is accurate before he makes a statement to the press. Now, Jones will be sentenced on February 9th. In the meantime, there is a civil lawsuit pending against Jones in the city of Detroit. Christopher Williams' attorney tells me that they'll be reviving that suit ASAP. Roop, Taryn.
Kill it.
Hey there, Randy. It's a
So
Wow.
is it illegal to have cash?
Um,
This is America, isn't it? Did I miss the law or something that said you can't walk around with a pocket full of cash and pull it out in front of a pink person?
all right, you know, it's hard to tell because they keep calling this place a democracy, and we know it's not. So their laws, I don't know what they're rolling under, and it doesn't seem to be the Constitution anymore. That's for sure.
And it's at their training facility or what have you, and you saw the skin folk who aren't always our kinfolk sitting there with a skinhead. You know, I don't know if he has alopecia or, you know, some sort of thing going up there. But I'm saying, you know, everybody bald isn't a skinhead, but all our skin folk ain't kinfolk. That his initial assessment was, well, he didn't really find, you know, any reason to fire this guy or discipline him because the reports I was getting from this guy and his buddies, the other officers, was that there were construction people. So if these people have authorized and been checked and okay to be in there doing the construction, they can't have cash. I'm asking, I don't know if maybe it's rhetorical, but can you somehow make it make sense of? Sometimes you can do that.
No, it's just pure racism. It's nowhere around that. In Detroit, no less.
Yeah. But at some point, and I get it though, because he shouldn't have to, you know, identify himself as a cop. You're jacking me up.
Completely unjustly.
He was wearing that Crenshaw hat.
I don't know if he had that on when that happened, but you know what I mean.
He dresses like your average everyday Pookie. I don't know if this guy's undercover working drug detail, and if he is, that deal's broken. You know what I mean? That guy, you know, he looks, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at him. You know, don't get me wrong, but he's an interesting cat, ain't he? And going against that FOP like that out there?
Hey, I mean, you got to when they do that.
You might as well quit your job because they won't show up when you call in for backup out there.
Yeah, he been there 18 years. He probably not wanting to be back no way after that happened.
Happy belated birthday, Dr. Rue.
Well, happy, happy, happy.
Yeah, but we did give a mention in the announcements, didn't we, Seth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not today's announcement.
Yeah.
But happy belated. Hope you enjoyed your day. Stace Dude said, dude, here with y'all checking in from San Diego out there.
Bet.
Then we got Ace X2U. Said he's not an athlete or a rapper, so he can't have a catch. I think he probably thought he nabbed him some sort of rapper because, they like to do that.
In the police bathroom.
All right, so
it gets sillier the more we talk about it.
Yeah, and then you got the booger, sitting there,
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
He's compromised. Could that guy run your police department in Silverdale, Self? I mean, he's black.
No, he probably wouldn't be allowed in Silverdale out there.
All right.
That's for certain.
All right, so I think we're in agreement that there's some tyranny going on there, but it's 12 on. It's a case of the 12 coming home to roost.
Hey, you got a racist 12, and he does some racist stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna sit here and believe that melanated guy, if he's out there and he sees some young Pookie out there pull out a wad of cash, look at him, he don't even got a job. Look at that car he's in. Where you getting that money? Pull over, show me your ID. You got any warrants? You got any guns and drugs? I don't know if that's how he rolls. I don't know what's in his heart.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It seems like it's okay to do it to you every average day Pookie, but when the Pookie happens to have a badge, then they can right away convict out here.
Yeah,
Something so minor.
Rabbit has the gun, then that's where the fun begins.
Yes, it ain't no fun unless the rabbit got the gun. It ain't no fun. Yeah, we're changing up all the music. Yeah.
Yes, changing it all up.
Changing it all up, changing the frequency. All right. We got one more for y'all before we get everything going. What if they were black? This one's big ups. Last one was big ups to Inside Edition. It was Fox. This one's big ups to KTLA Road Warriors. Everyone, we present to you Road Warriors.
Hey, go away. Excuse me! Do not touch my bag!
A confrontation caught on camera in Saugus leaves an elderly man with broken ribs, and police are on the hunt for 3 assault suspects. It all began as a dispute over a traffic altercation and quickly escalated into violence.
KTLA's Chris Wolf joins us live from Newhall, where he spoke with the victim about the disturbing assault. Chris.
That's right, Micah and Cher. LA County deputies, as you said, are looking for 3 young people, 2 men and a woman, in connection with this attack. A neighbor's home security footage is providing critical evidence in the case.
And the ribs hurt. And the ribs. Difficult to breathe.
Tuesday, November 29th, at the River Village Townhomes in Saugus. A short time after a verbal dispute between 2 drivers, the young female driver involved and her 2 passengers followed the other driver, a 72-year-old man, to the home where he was visiting his daughter.
Excuse me, sir, can I talk to you for a second? This is my girlfriend.
Battery victim Bill Weatherman explains it all started at the front gate when he stopped to punch in the code.
So we punch in the code, and I start to pull away, and this car comes by. About 20 miles an hour, nearly hit the front of us.
He's a thug too.
My
He's
wife
lying.
Screamed stop, and I stopped. And
when you see the video, they didn't almost.
Weatherman says he followed the car and simply wanted to tell the driver to slow down, as this was a neighborhood filled with
and
children,
he was the visitor,
including his grandchildren.
Right. They never got out of the car, yelled an obscenity at me. I yelled back at them, and I went to my daughter's house.
You whizzed past me, missed the front end of my car by this much. Okay? Did you?
No, I did not. You were by the call box, and I go by the
Go
paper.
away.
Look how he talking.
Push the right down. Yeah, well, with 2 hands in the back very hard. I explained to the officer that took the report. I said, I don't know if that's a punch
Look at him lying.
or just a push,
So if they
but I
barely
know that
showed the
it
video, I
hurt.
had to
The
slow it down
husband,
when I watched
father,
it.
and grandfather of 11 shows us his badly bruised arm and explains that he
man.
suffered 2 broken ribs from the fall, among other injuries.
They ran off, yelling a couple of obscenities at me, like how he was going to mess me up. They're young. I hope that they don't end up with some kind of permanent scar, but I also hope that they learn that they can't push people. They can't knock people around.
All right.
If you have any...
All right. There's a lot to unpack here. We'll try to do it as quick as possible. But all right, I just want to start with this part, and then I'll throw it to you. When you see the video, he's stopped checking in, and they do this stuff out here in Cali all the time. He's, she was coming on the right. She wasn't going as fast as she said he was. She didn't have to stop because she had the residence clearance, and they were just getting it. And she had the inside lane on that right turn.
Right.
If you see it, they didn't come anywhere. He sped up. He could have just let them go. You know what I'm saying? He could have just let them go is what I'm saying. I'm not victim blaming. But at a certain point, I'm always big on, hey, you got to play your part out here, baby.
Right.
You got to know when to say when. But go ahead, bro. Give me a commentary on what you just saw there out there in the suburbs.
I saw part I saw was it looked like both sides were thinking that they were completely right and the others wrong. Otherwise, they wouldn't have went to their house, followed them there, talked to them about it. And he just dismissed them, like, get out of here, go away, without there. After they said what he said wasn't true. And from what you said, they were right.
Yeah, but they weren't right to knock on his door. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Now, what if they were black? Because I know that guy's a card-carrying, God-fearing,
Prison. They'd be in prison
Trump.
right now.
They might have gotten shot. He might have shot
jail.
him and said he was defending himself, and they came to my house on that road rage.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know why they would do that. You don't follow anybody and go to their house.
Correct.
I mean, nothing else. If they don't have a weapon in the vehicle, they might have a weapon in the house.
Where was he going? Was he about to get in his car and leave? Because he taught her, you did this and that and this is the third. And you did it. She's like, no, but I didn't. But she was said total fabrication. Yes, she was telling the truth, but still they shouldn't have been there. You see, the girl and the other boy didn't really want to be there.
No.
It was the boyfriend and got his little wee-wee wet. Can we say wee-wee wet on that? That's Native American. Got his little wee-wee wet probably for the first time, and he wants, but he's protecting the women and what?
Children and the men.
To a certain extent, he's gonna get them.
No, you don't follow nobody there. It's over with. It's once it separates.
Yeah,
let it be.
Yeah, he's gonna get them shot. Because I don't know why you're knocking on my door after road rage, right? So,
facts.
3 young hooligans,
and especially after you knocked me to the ground.
But to your point, if they were black, yeah, he would either shot him or called the cops right away.
Yeah,
somebody in the house would have been calling the cops right away. And then I hope nothing really happens to him. I mean, I hope they're just kids, huh? They're just kids. I'll be ramming that now, self, when Pookie goes crazy, carjacks. They're just what?
Kids.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they don't,
Bah.
as long as they didn't harm anyone physically, you know what I mean?
Knocked him to the ground and gave him bruises and broke a couple of his ribs.
He was standing there. He looked like a tough biker type.
72 years old out there.
Yeah, there's some thugs, and that shouldn't happen. If they catch him, he's going to plea down. You know what I mean? Because you can't be pushing senior citizens like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's 72 years old.
Yeah.
He can't be falling down like that.
If he'd have hit his head, he could have killed him. You know?
Shit, that simple fall broke his ribs.
Yeah, he probably didn't know how to fall, but where was he going? He tucked that crap, walked up. And you're gonna tell me nobody in the community knows who those 3 kids are, and they're always together.
Man,
they live in that little complex stuff. Is that what you're gonna tell me? Nobody stepped forward because our community doesn't step forward.
Man.
You're gonna tell me their community won't step forward? They probably figure he's lying too.
Yeah, I won't lie because I personally enjoyed that. Maybe I'm the bad guy out there, but yeah.
If he was black, it wouldn't have even made the news.
Oh, hell no.
No. And maybe he was made to go viral on his own, and then weeks later it would have made the news because he had the house cam. But other than that, nobody would care.
Man.
All right. Let you guys like, share, subscribe. Ace said he probably called them people with H2O on their rear. What's he mean by that?
Call them people with
water
on their
rear. What's that? What's he talking about? Is that some sort of hot tub talk?
I don't know.
You guys had hot tub talk last week. I don't know if Ace is involved. What's going on? But
I don't know exactly what that means.
All right, Ace, we need some clarity without perjuring yourself or incriminating yourself out there. We don't do that. We don't do that.
Riddle or something? What are we going on?
Dome teaser.
Is that what that is? Okay.
No, I haven't given him the riddle.
No. I wasn't talking about the answer. I'm just saying, is he proposing one or some shit? Because I don't know what the fuck that is.
Probably called them people with H2O on their rear. That is a pretty difficult one to decipher out there. Maybe Dr. Root can decipher it. All right, but anybody in the chat, decipher what he means by that. All right, here we go. Speaking of riddle, today's dome teaser. A cowboy rode into town on Friday. You know, the Cowboys is black out there.
Original
was doing all the work, of course.
Yes.
Well,
I guess black, but they were American Indians. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. A black cowboy rode into town on Friday. He stayed for 3 nights and rode out on Friday. How is this possible? A colored cowboy rode into town on Friday. He stayed for 3 nights and rode out on Friday. How is this possible? All right, you guys. Self-love has a thumbs up out there. He hasn't typed any confirmation in as of yet. States Dude has a question mark. I think he's not able to decipher Ace's riddle. Looks like self-love is correct. We'll save the solution for you cats at the end. And Ace, we're not asking you guys to do a Google search. Takes the sting right out of it. Your brain won't develop by using Google. Well, it could, but not in this situation. Does show that you're able to use your tools. All right, so self-love is correct. All right, but enough of the mumbo jumbo here.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All righty. All right. Robotic cops. RoboCop initially approved for deadly force in major U.S. city. Near you, dude. Near you. Big ups to production. Like, share, subscribe. All right, so that was the riddle. And you guys, next week we're covering RoboCop.
Better open at a count of 3. 1, 2.
Drop the gun. You are under arrest.
I know you guys all saw that movie back in the day, in the 90s. The robot, violating everybody's rights.
You're not going to be able to rebel against them at this point.
Yeah.
Especially with the cops up in San Francisco with that murder robot they just bought.
How did San Francisco go from we're not going to even tell people, like, you should get off the street and go live inside to we're going to shoot you with robots?
Going through the community and mowing down gang members and drug dealers and such.
Police officers in a major American city have been given the authority to use remote-controlled robots that are capable of using deadly force in emergency situations. CBS's Jeff Begaze reports there was vocal opposition to the plan.
San Francisco police are assuring the public that robots armed with explosives would only be used sparingly.
We have somebody who's shooting, killing people, a sniper, etc. We're going to do everything we can to stop the threat.
The city's Board of Supervisors voted overwhelmingly in favor of the idea Monday night. But those against it raised ethical concerns and cited the impact on people of color.
You got to recognize they will be disproportionately used against black and brown communities.
Well, RoboCop has been approved to use force. You know how they used force self in that Dallas shooting? And I was flabbergasted about, man, you mean to tell me they put put a bomb on a robot and blew that brother up?
The policies in cities like San Francisco could clear the way for an expanded use of robots as weapons.
Get down.
One of the first such incidents happened in 2016 when Dallas police deployed one against a suspect who had gunned down 5 police officers. In a statement today, San Francisco police acknowledged that it does not have a specific plan in place on when to use armed robots.
I was like, is that constitutional? Remember that? The world caught up with me. But when I first saw it, I'm like, hey, you can reduce volume, please. I've never seen anything like this.
We've got two who can see.
I was like, but they do that. All right, y'all, we about to get it. Y'all know our number one goal: to tell our unfiltered history straight from the horse's mouth. And AC was right. Friday was the horse's name. That's the answer to tonight's dome teaser. Great job, Ace. Self-love has confirmed that to be true. Just put a bomb in. Tonight, we're unpacking robotic cops, initially approved for deadly force in a major U.S. city. We're going to talk about the constitutionality of it. Should this be deployed? If so, deployed on who? Who is it meant to be for? The melanated?
On the ground.
Why did the city all of a sudden place this measure on hold, pending further review? Will that matter? Is this coming? That's what we on tonight.
Is it because there's so many lunatics?
That's what we on tonight. If they were out there talking and screaming, you can kill that. He was screaming to those police because he was out there screaming some stuff. All right, self-love. The film RoboCop. Did you see it? If you did see it, what were your thoughts about that film then and looking back on it now?
My thoughts when it came out, and I was young, and I was like, oh, cool. It's a movie. And now I realize that it was predictive programming. And this is a route they want to go, except for they want it to not be a cyborg, but a full robot.
They who for $100?
The powers that be that control this, running this country and planet, like the 2-year-olds.
Interesting. Yeah, man. I saw a video today talking about Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover, they made it I think it was like 10 things you didn't know about him.
Yeah.
They had they made it all fun, and they're revealing all this truth, but they're making it all fun, so the masses aren't outraged that everything Dr. King and everybody's saying about him was true.
Yeah.
And but Yeah, he used to as a kid he was a peeping Tom out there. His dad was committed to a sanitarian. I told you to tell him I went through sanitation. Yeah, no, I told him sanitation. I told him sanitarian. Tell him he was in a sanitarian. So, yeah, his dad was committed. He had the largest personal porn collection like in world history. I'm not making this up. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of other stuff that guy did. Killed his neighbor's cat. Yeah, interesting dude.
It was passing. He was passing too. Did they say anything about that?
How he died?
Huh? No, he's passing for a white person.
Oh no, they didn't say that. I guess that would have been number 11. You saying he was some sort of color?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, they showed a picture of his parents. They were passing too then.
One of them was.
Yeah, I never saw his dad. Saw his mother.
Yeah.
Saw a picture of his mom. All right. Yeah, your cars have one with that slick hair. They used to grease it up a little bit. I used to know they were passing. I used to see him in church. He trying to pass out there. Look at you trying to pass. You know what I mean? You ain't got to pass yet. You don't get a pass. You ain't got a pass. All right. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I was probably watching Alex P. Keaton, Family Ties. That was a great show. You know what I mean? I had my sweaters on, you know. It's a different time in my life. You know, I'm not going to say I bought into the American dream, but, you know, it was a teaser there. I saw RoboCop. I felt like they wanted me to see RoboCop as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't feel good about what RoboCop was doing out there. Even in that scene, I don't know if we played it in the intro, you know, he had to smack that guy like that. And that guy should have shot him in his face. Because he didn't have no mask on his face. Just sitting there, tink, 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 tink. Oh, you know what I mean? That would have been in it.
Bad script, you know, that part.
All right.
You know how we watch films, we'd be like, no, why would he do that? Nobody would do that.
Nobody. Yeah, we even had, there was a RoboCop when Kurt had moved out, Illa had moved out to UP, and there was I don't know if he's a rookie or what, but all the guys gave him the name RoboCop, and it stuck, boy. He liked it too, RoboCop. He used to have on his slug proof, look at all, you know, what is everybody doing? I take everybody to jail because I work for the system. You know what I mean? I work for the man. Not that, like, I don't know. But he got cool over time. You know what I mean? He liked that name RoboCop. But he was just harassing everybody. You know, he worked a small community and just went around harassing people. All right, but we'll move on. But that was RoboCop. And like you, Self, that brings me to the next question. I'll go ahead and jump to life imitating art or vice versa?
Well, what they've been doing is predictive programming, stuff that they got coming down the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
They put them in films and they keep ramming it.
Books.
Yes. Or they keep ramming the films because, you know, most people don't read. So at least this generation, most don't read. So,
oh yeah, J. Edgar Hoover had so much dirt on Big Hollywood.
Oh my
this
God.
came out in that video, and he had them ramming all that stuff. They rammed us, and we were watching TV about the FBI. They always crack their cases. They're always using science. They work as a team. They're always righteous. That was him. Had you ramming that. Meantime, he was looking at your everyday porn out there.
Probably making them make some porn.
Probably out there on Ellis Island. What was the name of that island?
There are pictures of him in women's lingerie.
Yeah, he was buried next to his best friend, and they gave his best friend his flag, his memorial flag when they buried him.
Yeah.
And right, wrapped it up and handed it to him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. Now, life imitating art.
It's predictive programming, so
Yeah.
that's the art is the direction they are pointing everybody in. So yes, then they want to bring it to life.
So then once they program this into the artist, it could be a kid, it could be somebody like me with the sweater on watching Family Ties. Then those who are producing the type of art that is as a result of the predictive programming, such as certain types of drill music, etc., and drill artists and performers. Since it's naturally now due to the programming when they're in theta and the parents are listening to it and they got the kids are 5 years old doing the twerk and they put it up on Twitter.
2-year-old, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why?
Yeah, it's theta. So now that kid grows up, becomes what's her name? She's on trial right now, snitching on French Montana. Megan the Snitch.
Oh, Stallion.
Snitch. Megan the Snitch.
Okay.
I mean, using snitch lightly, but she alleged she got shot in the foot, but
Oh, Tory Lanez and not French Montana.
Oh yeah, my bad, French Montana. They're all high yellow and from Canada, I think, as far as I know. Maybe they're not.
I don't think he is, but Tory Lanez is though.
So it perpetuates itself. They don't even have to necessarily take a kid and say, hey, change your music to this. They have to take the first few maybe, but it pretty soon feeds itself.
Yeah, I mean, once NWA came out, that it was a clear shift, and that's who they're signing. That's what they want to be out.
Oh, and they put it all over the news, didn't they?
Yeah.
NWA was in the news every night. 2 Live Crew too, with the shake your butt, do the twerk. We're gonna be at the strip club having a video. Banned in the USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mimi M said Tory Lanez, not French Montana. Yeah, it's dad talk here. We really don't care whose name they are. You know what I mean? Just trying to drive over point. You know what I mean? But appreciate that. All right. So now we'll push on. Now, if you remember, tonight's it's robotic cops initially approved for deadly force in major U.S. city. The Dallas shooting, we talked about it in that promo video.
Yeah.
That brother was out there talking about Black Lives Matter. And he wasn't talking about it in a positive way. He was talking about it like giving some rabbit hole stuff. You have to get he was out there talking. It was on live
they had
TV.
to get rid of him, period.
Oh, yeah. And he was like, it's more than me. And and y'all know what y'all doing. Yeah.
That was one of them robots. I thought it was a drone that blew him up.
It was same way they got Christopher Dorner, pretty much.
Yeah. I was confusing them. Where was that at? Because that wasn't in Texas.
Dorner was out here in Cali.
Right.
Yeah. They got him up in Lake Tahoe, up in a cabin. When they dropped a bomb in his cabin.
Right.
Yeah. Dude said he can't take a smoke break. You must be rolling the big one because you're just rolling. Rolling. Keep those bliggies rolling. That weed. All right. Yeah. Black Cowboys. All right. So that was the Dallas. He was the ex-military.
Yeah,
allegedly.
he was talking a bunch of stuff too.
Then they tried to say join the Nation of Islam, but then it came out he became Muslim, but he wasn't following Farrakhan per se out here. He probably didn't know Elijah Muhammad was. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm being light. But yeah, marksman, great soldier, you know what I mean? And And you remember they were like, it was multiple shooters when that Dallas shooting first started.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they whittled it down to one. And they were saying this one brother, he looked like he was Pepperman Patsy. So once he was out, but they had him on camera, you know, putting in stuff. But who knows? He could. Well, we can't say what we want to say because we're sequestered. Who knows what could have been coming out of that gun, if anything, necessarily, if anything at all. I'm not saying that, but you know what I'm saying. But he was out there telling those police and the media, he was screaming. Remember, they was having it back and forth, and he wrote a manifesto, which they never released. It wasn't even a manifesto. He was just telling why he was there and that it was bigger than him and it was going up. And he said that there was a takeover in the military. I do remember that. He said that there was an arm of the military. I'm not saying they were triple K. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I remember, that they, and stuff, we know they've run the military since day one, but that there's been a resurgence of it. That's what he was saying. And allegedly there was a resurgence of the counteract, the opposite side, who weren't all necessarily black. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah.
And it's funny, they were trying to make a law that would get the KKK out of the police and the military, and
correct,
the Republicans wouldn't do it.
Correct. And that's what he was talking about too, law enforcement and everything. Yeah.
The Democrats was trying to push that forth, so I don't know if it was good or not.
And he was talking about how those military people are taking over the law enforcement.
Yeah.
Yes, which is what you've been saying. If they served in the military, you don't want them on the police.
No.
Go be a what? MP.
Yeah.
Right.
Stay up in that sector.
Right. We'll call you guys when we need you. We don't need all these. We don't need y'all blurred into the community. Where you come from? Now you're a Chicago cop. How does that make sense?
It doesn't. We got to change policing in this country, period.
Yeah.
Along with a lot of other things. We got to, it's got to be something different.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. This government, it's trash. It's trash. Got to be some term limits.
I don't think you can say trash on YouTube. But but they put a remote control bomb. I remember because I was watching the whole thing. And you're thinking they're gonna throw some. Even they were saying they're gonna throw some, stun grenades in there, and throw some smoke. I'm sitting there with my sweater on, family ties playing in the background. You know what I mean? Looking at Alex P. Keaton in the modern day times, taking what do you call that? What do you call
Parkinson's.
that? To cure it, they pull it out of the babies, and it's a whole big issue.
The stem cells.
Yeah, yes.
Sitting there taking aborted fetuses.
Yeah. I mean, it helps. Calms it down for 2 seconds. 10 babies were killed, but it's all controversial. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is this. It's a serious topic. They didn't put the flashbang in smoke. They could have put that on there, flashbanged them, and then went in there. They blew that man up, and they was like, it's over. I was, wow. It's like, that's it? They didn't think he was going to run out of ammo?
How did they decide to be like, and let it be known, and how they going to be judge, jury, and executioner?
Yeah.
Like, that's not how this country's supposed to run.
And he had lines of communication open. The only reason he was shooting is because they kept coming towards him. All they had to do was maintain a
safe distance.
Yes. He couldn't stay in there forever. He had to go to sleep, even if it was 3-4 days. Blew him up because, in my opinion, he knew too much and was willing to say too much.
Was already saying too much and putting out a lot of different stuff. At least the Darden dude, definitely.
Same thing with him. Burned him up.
Yeah.
I think he had already offed himself, though. And they just want to take some kind of credit. I mean, before they even got close. I think he knew what they were coming to do,
Yeah, I don't know, because he was still firing out of there until, they flew that.
Boom, yeah.
Yeah, they flew that drone up in there.
But he never came running out.
Oh, no.
I guess he just stood there and burned up. Or you saying then he probably offed himself?
Well, I think that it wasn't just a fire. It was, an explosion, then the fire.
It sure was.
So, yeah.
It was. And they tried to say it was a flashbang. First they were saying it was dry up there and it all went wrong. Yeah,
they were just lying.
And then the media doesn't even talk about it anymore.
They ain't talk about it much then. They weren't advertising that it was a drone at first. They were saying that he set the fire.
150 years from now, to be people like you saying it didn't happen. Like you say, what's my man's name? Supposedly he had all the revolts here in the slave.
Nat Turner.
Yeah, exactly. But guys like you, 150 years from now, saying it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No evidence of
it. Definitely, like they said, anyway.
Correct. All right. All right. Feel like we're off the topic here. Dude wants to smoke. We'll be at halftime after this last question.
He said, why take a smoke break before he turned us on? He can't stop rolling.
Oh, that's what he's saying. Okay. That makes it even funnier. All right. All right. So, yeah. We'll go ahead and take it. Oh, yeah. He doesn't want to say that on YouTube. Now I know what he's talking about. But
oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll type it in our personal thing here.
Yeah, especially since don't say it on the out there.
This guy's hilarious.
We got about 60 more days or so.
Yeah. Yeah.
60. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all. Y'all know what that means. It's the halftime thing. Yo, we've been breaking down Self-Love Show, talking about Robotic Cops. It was initially approved for deadly force.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, San Fran. But seemed like they pulled back a little bit. But we talked a lot. And we're going to expand the conversation in the second half. Got some great videos for you to check out. Get at them. Because it's halftime.
It's halftime.
What have you?
It's halftime.
You know what I mean? I have a feeling about this.
I mean, enjoy.
Hey, it's Camille. And Haley. And we
Oh,
just
boy.
got a new song for our wonderful police. This is called
Back the Blue.
Yeah.
Brand new. Here we go.
I'm excited about this.
Who's gonna be there for you 24/7, even holidays? Our Minutemen up to date. Police departments take no breaks. Who's gonna stand for justice? Running toward the bullets when we call. They give their lives, risk it all, and we never know their names. 911.
It's on my playlist.
It's an emergency. Wake up.
I like pull it up next to the guys.
For me, don't give up. It's time we defend and remind them we will always stand beside
Roll on the pop playing it.
We will back the blue.
When you get pulled over.
Who are these men and women dressed up in the line of fire each day? Someone's dad,
Change the game.
someone's mom, someone's daughter, someone's son. What makes them fight for strangers? Holding up the laws that keep us safe, keeping peace in our streets. Always one phone call away. 911, it's an emergency. Wake up. They're fighting for you and for me. Don't give up. It's time we defend and remind them we will pray and stand behind you. We will back the blue. shake their hand
Sir.
and say thank you. Thank you.
You paid my salary, officer.
Thank you for all that you've done. 911, it's an emergency. Wake up, they're fighting for you and for me. Don't give up. It's time we defend and defy them. We will always stand beside you. We will pray and stand behind you. We will back the blue. We will back the
I'm gonna pull up to your crib, Self, next time I'm in Shine being a rental car.
Thank you so much.
You know, I can't believe I let that play all the way through.
That's the spirit of Saint in you. Can you imagine?
Man. I can't believe I let that play all the way through.
Oh, come on. I mean, come on, Self. You can scratch that off your bucket list. You got to see two Karens play it all out there. Man, Self, I'll be pulled up at the lights.
Hold on, man. You Dance Radio said, black these blue balls. He said, you a fool. Pull up with this play.
Hey, I mean, I just thought that'd make everybody feel better. Now, you guys, please type in your commentary. We'll get to it as the show moves on. Please let us know. Thumbs that up. And you can go check it out yourself or thumb it down. I mean, we don't believe in censorship. So, every artist, as they are, deserves the right to speak their own truth unless you're a rapper. Because now the courts have said that they can use rap music against you in a criminal case. But that's another show.
Block right here. I shit coalition, no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? This what y'all wanted me in Chicago? No block right here. I shit coalition, no block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? Niggas ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m. Where the fuck y'all niggas at, block?
Old block right now. Where we at? Tell you something, man. This Nino Brown, man. I'm live on Old Block right now. Where we at? This Old Block. I'm from Miami. I just want to tell niggas, man, we gotta stop killing each other, man. Yeah, this shit ain't about nothing. All that killing shit, we gotta work together, man. Stop killing each other, my nigga. I had to come over here and tell niggas that shit, my nigga.
I'm right here. See where I'm at. I'm out here. Black Star Line cigars. For grown man. On some grown man stuff. And to the PDs, stop doing that killing. Please, stop doing that killing.
Yeah. I'ma show the world what they don't know. Sure. I'ma be the one. I'ma be the one when I'm done. He ain't lying, y'all. Higher. If I made it this far, I'll go higher. If I made it this far, I can make it anywhere. If I made it this far, if I made it this far,
Yes, sir. We're back. The Self-Love Show. Talking about San Fran approving robots to use deadly force. About to expand conversation even more. So like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Tell everybody. World needs this information.
I go. Absolutely.
Big ups to Trife Mac.
Trifo. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Hey, self-love, break down the science of self for him right quick.
Science of self. We are all one. We're not separated. We're all one. Just like our bodies are made up of trillions of cells, we are all cells of the Creator. We make up the Creator. Make him greater. We're here in these vehicles and we have an illusion of separation. And we are all self.
Facts. That is the science of the self. Yeah, so these are just quick highlights, things we were just discussing. So 6 years ago, police in Dallas were forced to improvise when a sniper, they called him, killed 5 officers and began an hours-long standoff. Unable to approach the shooter, officers used a robot with an extending arm to guide a pound of C4 explosive towards it. Then they detonated their makeshift bomb, neutralizing the shooter. In the aftermath, experts, such as myself, were stunned. This incident sparked a debate over whether law enforcement should be allowed to use robots to administer deadly force. Kind of reminds me when they were asked if they should have been allowed to fly an airplane over Project Operation Move in Philly and drop bombs.
Or drop the bombs on Tulsa. Because the government did that too.
Easy. Oh, you're talking about David Koresh. My bad. I thought you were talking about Oklahoma City.
No,
Easy.
government. I didn't say nothing bad, but government.
Yeah. All right. On Tuesday, San Francisco told its police that they could now do such. Now, there was a heated debate, and the police said when risk of loss of life to members of the public or officers is imminent, and officers cannot subdue the threat after using alternative force options or de-escalation tactics. That's the policy that would allow officers to use ground-based robots to kill. It was proposed back in September. It was amended to include the provision allowing lethal force at the request of the SFPD. An earlier draft set out that robots shall not be used as a use of power force against any person. I think this is where Kamala Harris was DA. Got the support of the FOP. Yeah. Their FOP. Wore the jacket. Took a photo op with him. I'm not making this up.
I know you're not. I mean, that's, hey, we know that,
FOP jacket. Okay, I could tolerate a black woman wearing a policeman's jacket. I could tolerate that. So, wee.
But
like
the Attorney General?
The FOP self, that's a whole nother level. In my opinion. Now, it was amended once more at a board meeting to add that 1 of 3 senior police leaders must authorize such action. The policy will pertain to a fleet of ground-based robots that PD already possessed for reconnaissance, bomb disposal, and rescue operations, including wheeled bomb disposal robots with extending arms similar to the one used by Dallas officers in 2016. They are all unmanned and remotely piloted. That's what you meant by drone. The SFPD does not possess armed robots, departments said. He described a scenario in extreme circumstances similar to the one that played out in Dallas. And they're assuming that everybody thinks that that was okay, in which a robot could be equipped with explosives to breach a fortified structure or contact, incapacitate, or disorient a dangerous suspect without risking the life of an officer. And so people were pushing back, saying most law enforcement weapons are used against, people of color. That was Shaman Walton, Democrat. He said at the board meeting, I'm really just stunned that we're here talking about this. That was the pushback. And that has since been overturned because the people stood up and protested in the great city of San Francisco. And this is all part of their predictive programming too. No, it's all part of it. And then we'll have a show where the people fight back and it'll look like somebody cared, but ultimately it's coming.
Well, they're trying to make it come, and they'll detour. They were trying to push it through. Don't think they weren't. We people are waking up as a whole, and they have to adjust their plans because they don't just roll through.
No, I concur. I concur. But now that they push back, that's a form of programming because it's already teased people's minds and we're having these discussions.
And it's the whole predictive programming along pushing it further.
Correct.
Trying to kick it down the road, put it more in front of mine.
Yeah, tease it. Yeah. Now, Mimi said the use of robots. This is Generation Z, right? Or Millennial Z? I don't know.
I don't even.
The use of robots like that is excessive.
Yeah.
They need to go ahead and take that L. Well, yeah, and once upon a time, they would just wait it out. The cops had all night. They had shifts. You know what I mean? Wouldn't they self? They knew the guy had to go to sleep. He'd want some chicken soon. You know what I mean? You want some chicken?
They had elite units that would come in to handle that type of situation.
Yeah, and drug the food. I mean, come on. I used to wonder why they didn't do that when I was watching SWAT. You know what I mean? And feeding this guy a burger, I would have had all types of Bill Cosby, make this guy a burger. If you say Bill Cosby, I bet you Bill Cosby would have put him to sleep, allegedly, if any of that was true. Free Bill Cosby. We said it multiple times.
Oh, yeah, he's free.
Yeah, but
he needs to stay free because
exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean.
She said she don't know what generation she is. Neither do I.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows. All right, but so that was pretty much giving you guys a breakdown of what the law was all about. It's right here in my backyard. I'm sure LA County is taking a gander ourselves.
Well, everywhere is. The fact that it was done in Dallas in 2016 made it a possibility for them to try to run through. And they usually try stuff in California.
Correct. But whenever they implement this new stuff, it's always against a brother to get the conversation going.
And it's interesting that the 2 times they've used this type of stuff, it's been against 2 people of color. I mean, not people of color, melanated.
No, correct. And anytime they've used bombs have been against
us already. So it's like they're setting a whole standard and precedence on how they're going to be using it. And, they're still going to get them other people and take them to McDonald's or Burger King, after they do some heinous things, pat on the back.
Yeah, I was watching one of them. He's like, I went to McDonald's before. They be going, boy, those young pink thugs. They like that McDonald's. Must be something in there. They sit down there after McDonald's.
You know what's in McDonald's. It's sugar. It's a whole bunch of sugar and everything in there. Except for the iced tea, it's one other thing, but everything else has sugar. The salad dressing is full of sugar. The bread, all that's full of sugar, and I can't really call that food because you can buy that and set it on your counter for 3-4 years, and might dehydrate a little, but it won't spoil. None of it.
Oh yeah.
The bread, none of it. The meat, it won't spoil. It'll just sit there.
Yeah, and they got a chemical in the packaging that keeps the grease from seeping through, which they say is a deadly chemical that takes thousands of years to even get out your system or
Everything
get off.
in McDonald's is poison.
And then the whole killer, the McDonald's used to be reasonable out there. I can go there in and out and eat more than I can eat at McDonald's.
Well, I deliver from there sometimes, but I couldn't eat nothing out of there.
Yeah, it leaves your car smelling funny too, don't it, Tuff, after you deliver McDonald's? It leaves a stench.
It's not food. It's
yeah,
foodish, sort of like food, killing you slowly.
Now, we were talking about defund the police, at least that was all in the news during the pandemic. It was, but the alt-right refused to recognize this. Defund 12 was predicated on the overfunding, the militarization of the police, the underfunded social programs, and education. Kids don't even have books, but they can get guns easier, and then they can get a good solid book. But
And
go ahead.
Right along those lines, how much do these robots cost, and who's paying for it? I mean, how are they paying for it? And right along them lines, that's why it should be defunded, because it's ridiculous.
Correct. They're just looking for ways, and who are they buying them from, and who's making the money off of that?
Man,
you always got to follow the money.
Well, some Boston Dynamics. Have you seen anything they've been doing?
No.
They've created like a super soldier.
Oh yeah.
AI taught itself to walk all the way through. It's doing flips and running all types of terrain, and it's autonomous.
Yeah, I think they were talking about it on Killer Priest show one time.
Yeah.
But Self, now you mentioned NWA. Man, you remember how they used to police South Central? Man, those ghetto birds and those tanks knock down the home. So we know how these things, the Gatling gun, to put down rebellions of the melanated. Historically, you mentioned it earlier in this show. You know how things are going to get deployed. Do you have any confidence that this is going to be good for the Black community?
Well, I have no confidence under this government. This a government is, we need to get our own government and set up our own institutions. Because they're not set up for us. We're not part of that. They have put us in a black zone that is dead in their law, and they can do anything with very little repercussions. And they riding that till the wheels fall off.
Man, ride that horse until that horse can't walk. Mimi asked Self, why do they try stuff in California? You said they try stuff in California.
It's a kind of a liberal place. It's a lot of things go on there that don't go on anywhere else. It's where Hollywood is. So they think that they can create anything from that space. They can try anything from that space because they create everything in that space. Like it's out of nowhere. They do all kinds of predictive programming from there, making all these films and television shows and all the music.
Yeah. And that's where the hippie movement was, the free love, free drugs, LSD. Yeah. All right. All right, let's push on. So could this be a precursor to some sort of overplay for the underlay? Meaning chestnut checkers. What we're talking they now. Yeah, surely they aren't just creating this to blow up a few cop killers.
Absolutely not. They're a precursor to a RoboCop or actual robot, autonomous
Police force.
robot police force.
And then at that point, we could be slaves.
At that point, we are slaves.
Well, I've been, thinking about this, just like in Terminator and all that. There's always going to be some guys who come up with a way to zap out the robots, mess with the program, and Matrix showed it, But I know where you're coming from. Many of us will be slaves.
Yeah, my point about saying that at that point we are slaves, but we're not getting to that point. I don't accept their predictive programming. I don't accept we're going all the way there. And I know they're like minds with me that's going to put a stop to it.
So it could be said that using those drones over there on those hostile, quote unquote, countries and blowing up everybody, trying to get one resurgent, has been predictive programming for this.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of get into the constitutionality of it. They justified the drone killing. And of course, Barry Obama, I think, had the most drone killings under his watch.
Nope. We're not living under the Constitution, bro. Not since 9/11. That whole that document.
Patriot Act. Yeah.
Yes.
But
it subverted the Constitution.
That's all part of the same timing, but there was still pushback here legally with us using that drone technology, but it's been justified because those are insurgents. But now they're justifying the same thing that they're doing to quote unquote insurgents. They're justifying doing that to American citizens. Something seems awry here.
Yeah, because we're not living under the Constitution. They keep talking about Constitution, and they also keep saying democracy, and Constitution don't say democracy in it one time. And
no. Public.
Yes. And we're living under the Patriot Act. And it subdues the Constitution. There's a lot of shit in the Constitution that don't matter under the Patriot Act. Like it supersedes it.
Yeah, if they could. Yeah, they have to be able to determine that you're a.
During these last few presidents, there's been so many things happen that's just not constitutional, and they didn't get the feed. The attack that they should have. They didn't get the impeachment that they should have. They got impeached for stupid stuff. But
they said the student loan forgiveness is unconstitutional. The court spoke on that.
Yeah, the court is moving on the Constitution or whatever, but the government ain't. The Supreme Court really
seems like they're just
court gestures as far as I'm concerned.
Agenda.
Yeah, court gestures as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I raised that point that they can approve denying the people student loan forgiveness and talk about the Constitution. But then something like this goes through, which we never know. It probably would have headed to the Supreme Court.
Somebody
would have had to sue him.
Yeah. Facts.
But it's bad enough we got somebody who's not from our community, a human, accosting us or investigating crimes in our communities. But then we have this human to be removed from the whole situation, sitting there with a remote control, being able to blow up Melanie.
Yeah, judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, because when they said one of the top cops, you'd think that'd be left up to, you'd have to put that either on the mayor or put that on, it had to be a team, like a mayor, a judge. You know what I'm saying?
What did they say? One of three people, or was it?
Yeah, and they're all cops.
Yeah, one of three people. It should be
Right.
more than one.
Majority vote. Not majority. Unanimous vote between the three. Something like that.
And all three of them shouldn't be cops.
Correct. One of them should be a cop. Correct. I agree with that 100%. So we're breaking down right now how it could be used. Do you see if they would have put more of the emphasis self, I don't know how much this would sway my opinion of it. But if they were putting more of the emphasis on, if they were saying like a school killing, but then how do you do that? Because now you're blowing up the kids too. But still, you know what I mean? But to protect us.
The whole thing, man, their examples they used are exactly what they would be using it for. So
right.
Like
to protect
somebody
the
that they
quo.
trained, that they can't subdue.
Yeah.
And he's melanated.
And he's better than them.
Yes.
Because remember that dude was running around, jumping behind poles. You remember that? They talking about he was sniping. Well, then if he was doing all that, he's a sniper and he was moving with that thing. They showed him moving. He was moving with it. Military proficiency.
Hey, you get more training as a barber than a cop. So these military people and cops don't have a chance against military people.
What do you mean you get more training?
It's longer training to get licensed to be a barber or a beautician than it is to be a cop.
Interesting. I've heard that before, but why is that so?
I think they want trash as cop police.
Yeah, it's the second time. Can we say trash on YouTube?
You can definitely say trash.
All right, we're saying trash. We're moving forward with trash here. But how do you think? Because it's coming. You said you're not accepting it. This is coming. Boy, they're gonna that generation, boy, these kids are 2 years old right now. They're gonna start showing them cartoons of hero robot cops blowing up all the bad guys and everything being used just the way it's supposed to be used, and the accountability and the triple blind checks, and only the super creature is being murdered from the other planet. Or they're gonna predict the start having discussions about it.
Don't forget they showing
grade.
all these zombie flicks and all this zombie stuff. So don't forget that part. So
yeah. Mimi said, I think you can say trash on here. All right. Yeah, we're going with trash out there. All right. So, yeah. It's all right. Well, you killed the whole Constitution discussion because, I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's not constitutional, but they're still doing it and playing with it and all of that. So
this is interesting. I guess they could have. I guess you can use it like with the Las Vegas shooter. Get that remote control up in there. blow up that door. Keep that robot coming in there, drop a couple grenades in there, or whatever it is you're doing. C4, pounds of C4.
That'll blow up the. I
don't know why they don't just throw in, like, say we're coming in with 20. No, that'll kill you. 2 stun grenades or something.
Yeah, I mean, that would be more like taking them alive to do it.
Yeah, to be more humane.
Yeah, they're
killing
they
the
only
people
tend to
like
kill.
what you said, it's the
they only
people
tend
who
to
know
kill
and,
us.
Yeah,
So
and those
they-
who know and who are telling too. Dorn.
Yeah, I mean, and killing them because
Yeah.
better than him.
Yes. And exposing and saying, I'm willing to turn myself in, but I'm talking. You know, they need no Brown in their way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they.
Yeah, I think I think that's probably how they're looking at it. Yeah, maybe you can use Robot 12 in the Vegas shooter. Maybe the KKK is having a rally and, you know, send a robot bomb in there and blow
Yeah,
them up.
they won't do that part.
Well,
That's the
you can't
whole.
do it
That's
if
the
they're
whole
rallying.
problem with the whole thing.
Yeah, but
That's the whole problem with the whole thing. The 2 examples that they have is what they would use it for, and it wouldn't be for other people.
it won't
The
be for the Buffalo school, the Buffalo
No.
shooter at the grocery store.
No, not at all. He goes to Burger King. Good job, son. Now we're gonna take you in and do all this, and gonna put you in a nice, crazy home for a little while and get out.
Well, why do you think the city of San Francisco put it on ice? Oh, they knew we were coming.
Yeah, the protests, the pushback.
The people might lose elections.
Yeah, that's what they care about. That's it.
I mean, I could see. I mean, I know you can't see it, but 30 years from now, I could see robot cops being at your, at your schools, there to protect the kids. But that's an overplay. There to protect the system from the kids, keep those kids in order.
Same way the cops are now. They don't protect us, they protect property.
Yeah, you're right. They be when they're in the inner city schools, they be harassing them kids. And their job is there to make sure that those kids are safe, but they be in there policing. They be in there straight policing.
For real. Putting 5-year-olds in handcuffs and
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was appalled when I saw this. I was definitely appalled when I saw this. But you had anything else you want to chime in on about this topic, bro?
We have to see their BS and plans and plan to stop it. Like last week we had a great show, and I think part of our success is to not cooperate with their plans. I think that's could be a great definition of success, us coming together and not cooperating with our demise, our push to slavery, and put a stop to crap like this.
Yeah. And I'll say, man, so I was saying what the devil intend to use for bad, God turns into good. So the government, has to be careful with how these things are implemented, because You know how just like that police issued gun ended up in the killer of that rapper recovered.
Right.
Slim Soldier Slim.
Slim Soldier.
Is it Soldier Slim, ain't it?
Yeah, Soldier Slim. You're exactly right.
Rest his soul. But how that gun ended up in the hands, these robots, in other words, the criminals could start having robots, or not the criminals, but the people outside of the government, or the people pushing back on the government, and the paramilitary groups, et cetera, could start getting access to, remote control bombs.
Right. The system is not unhackable. It could be hacked.
Right. Yeah. Mimi mentioned problem with technology. To your point, it malfunctions as well. What if a RoboCop sees a non-threatening behavior as threatening? Yeah, you could just be playing around with your brother or having a fight with your brother. Nobody was going to kill anybody.
Right.
Like that.
Facts. Those things don't have emotions.
Yeah. And you know what I'd say too, Self, what I add to it? You're not calling in the okay to do it. So say if you're one of those three guys with the authority and they want one person to make the decision, he's going to have to control it himself. You do it, you son of a bitch. You live with it. You
reap it, Murphy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hand him a controller and he's got a.
Yeah. 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 And let him come out there and talk about he did it and he'll do it again. And then it should be some sort of warning. This robot coming towards you has a remote control pound of C4. I guess they don't want to do that because then the guy can run, but then I guess you could shoot him or something. Well, he was good, boy. He was handy. He was handy with that stick, the rest of his soul.
Yeah, from that little scene, you saw him running from pole to pole.
Man, sniping at one point on top of the roof, that guy was like Flash. Then he was downstairs. Then he was, yeah, man, he was all over the place. Won't see no Hollywood movies about that. You see documentaries, but you won't see them put a Denzel Washington or what's that guy name playing in he's a black guy playing in Black Panther and all of that.
Not the one that.
No, not the one who passed. There's
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, there's another black guy out there who's young.
Michael B. Jordan.
Have them playing. Start back in his life and have somebody investigate what he was talking about with the military and all of that. A heck of a story.
I'm surprised you forgot his name.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah, it pisses me off. Probably can't even do a left-hand layup, you know what I mean?
It ain't his fault. His parents named him.
Yeah, well, he could have changed his name. Everybody else comes to Hollywood and changed their name.
He might have changed it to that. So shit.
He might have, you know. It's another reason not to like him. Yeah, he probably did. Michael B. Jordan. It's brilliant, actually. The B is for brilliant. You won't forget him, but I forgot. LeBron B. James. You move to Hollywood and call yourself LeBron B. James.
Oh, goodness.
All right. All right, man. So
A said, how can you Karen proof a robot?
How can you? Especially when you're gonna have a Karen behind the stick.
Or the Karen programmed it, period. Even if it works on its own.
Yeah, everything that they use is always used against us. The dogs, you see the dogs deployed on us more than anybody. The tanks, the sniper rifles, the shoot up everybody in the house because you're looking for one penny ass drug dealer, not even somebody moving the things into the country. So
we're in that black space, so that's how they rate us.
All right, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this riddle, which has been solved. A black cowboy rode into town on Friday. He stayed for 3 nights and rode out on Friday. How is this possible, Self-Love?
Or his name is Friday. And Ace put that in the chat early on.
Yeah. Yep. Ace got it. Good job, Ace. Yeah, I typed the horse in there. I mentioned it. Big ups to Ace, though. He came through if he did not use Google or Safari or any other Ask Jeeves. They still got that stuff, Ask Jeeves? That was
I have
racist.
no clue.
Sounded racist, didn't it? Ask Jeeves. Jeeves, yes, sir. What's wrong, sir? What's wrong with us, sir? That's what Jeeves should have been saying. All right. I'd have used the shit out of that. All right. All right. All right. So we got we did the riddle. Next week, on the Self-Love Show, we're covering sovereign citizens in the Black community. Something you might know a little something about, huh?
Little bit, because that's a that statement, and they said it as it is, but how can you
They're
be
going after them.
Sovereign? How can you be a sovereign and a citizen? That doesn't. You can't be a sovereign citizen. You're either sovereign or you're a citizen, and they getting them too, because they think they're sovereign citizens, and no, you keep calling yourself a citizen, and you can't be sovereign and a citizen.
They call them subversives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big
and
movement,
made
but
laws against them.
yeah, it's a big movement. Everybody's saying they don't have to pay attention to the laws. They don't have a social security number and, things of this nature. We're going to be unpacking that. They show up to court, say that's not their name, and they're standing third.
Right.
Yeah. But they still end up in prison somehow.
A lot of them. Because the paperwork that they've did is they're still a citizen. So what they're talking about doesn't apply to them.
Let's see. And that's what we're going to be unpacking, y'all. That's what we're going to be unpacking. Yeah, the banks. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. The banks have always been under control of the
Federal Reserve. Yep.
Yeah, always. And I know we covered. I think we did a show on that, didn't we? So way back. Money.
Yeah, I wonder if that was one of the casualties.
All right, so that's what we got next week. Sounds like Self does know a little something about, or well, you don't know about sovereign citizen, using that in conjunction.
Yeah. Well, I do. I know it's a term that it's an oxymoron. It makes no sense. And it's one or the other. But I do know something about what happens when people call themselves sovereign citizen and they make these laws to call them.
Yeah, they go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're going to jail. But I don't know. I'm unpacking more, and we're going to do some research.
All of them don't. Well, the sovereign ones that call themselves sovereign citizens, yeah, they go to jail. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're unpacking. And tomorrow, right here on TATN at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, mouthpiece included. That's where we discuss politics. We're covering Brittany Griner, free from the penal colony in exchange for the merchant of death. Yeah, huh? Brittany Griner in the penal colony. Huh? They like to talk about penal colony in the same sentence with Brittany Griner.
Yeah,
I've never heard that term rammed so much in my life.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we can say that, but that's what we're covering. We got some other great hot topics. I don't know if you saw Skip Bayless stuff. I was watching that. I was watching it when it happened. How he went in on his book and his coon.
Yeah.
Put them glasses back on. Shannon took his glasses off like he was gonna do something. He told him, "Put your glasses back on." Basically, like, boy.
Man, told him that Tom Brady was way better than he is. He's not close and all that. He's like, man, you act like I'm a bum. I'm a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you're just jealous because Tom Brady was 40. Tom Brady was doing more at 45 than you ever did in your career. I'm like, man, did he get possessed by Tom Brady? But it serves Shannon right. Always Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. You know, they named the MVP award, which we'll cover tomorrow after Michael Jeffrey Jordan. We were talking about on Mouthpiece included that they need to name something after Michael. And Shannon's going, what is LeBron going to get? What is LeBron going to get? Talking about LeBron going to get the GOAT award. So I don't, I didn't get upset. That's the only reason I didn't, comment on Skip going in on his boy like that. You know what I mean? Because it serves him right, but the internet's picked up on it. The black internet picked up on it. So,
oh man, they've been showing how other people have handled Skip.
Yes, how Skip's been totally disrespectful with them.
Man, did you see how Jalen Rose handled it? Oh my God.
Yeah, told him he averaged 1.3 points a game.
1.4.
Yeah.
And you're commenting on that Richard Sherman.
But Skip will tell you, but Michael Jordan scored 60 on you, Jalen.
Yeah, but you never played in the league. You didn't play after high school. So
I read a comment where I agreed, and I was going to type it, but somebody beat me to it. Shannon should have said, and Stephen A is better than you, Skip. Reap it.
Oh, man. That's what Richard Sherman was like 3-4 years in. He said, okay, I need you to call me. You talk to me, use my name. You need to be Richard Sherman, Stanford graduate, wherever he went, and all pro Stanford graduate Richard Sherman. And he was like, he had something coming back at him. He was like, well, that means I'm one of the top 22 players in football. You ain't the top 22 in nothing. So right now I'm beating you in life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Skip's doing it for clout or, but,
no, I think it's pure ego.
Well, he says his mammy, he had a black mammy when he was growing up, so that gives him the right carte blanche to, he was raised by a black woman. They were still living old slave style when he was growing up. And he feels like that gives him the right to say stupid shit. He should know better. That black mammy should have been slapping the shit out of him, shouldn't she?
No, she was yes sir, no sir.
Yeah. Yes sir, master. What's his name? Skip. Yes sir, master Skip.
What can we do for you this morning?
We sick, Master Skip. Yeah, so we'll be covering that. It's an open panel tomorrow, so feel free to pull up. If you do pull up, don't forget what?
Don't forget your mouthpiece.
Don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. You get all that.
TATN.
Pull up. And we got Ace, he's the co-host. And it's fun and games on that show with some serious top commentary as well. So
absolutely. Great show.
All right. So I think that about does it for tonight. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to turn it over to this brother to my right for Wordsmiths. Final words out there.
Robotic cops.
12.
I think not. What gives the police the right to be judge, jury, and executioner? Because I ain't excusing you. Like minds have to get together and trump their plans. Make them scrap it. Because, man, they got some evil they want to put in our future. It's up to us to refuse it. Because if we don't, they're going to abuse it. Talking about their so-called power. Realize they want to devour us. Use them as their energy to thrust to another atmosphere. Powered off us and our fear. Realize we wrapped in the best of gear. This melanated can't be debated. That is the greatest. We need to use it to our advantage, not a detriment. Got to get together and not be hesitant to move as a group of like minds. I guarantee you, whatever we do, we gonna shine. It's our time. We waking up, shaking up all they plans. We need to build our own together and keep it growing. For the generation to come. Build them up, wake them up. So we're not caught in a dream or dumb, deaf or blind. Together we can climb. Words.
Word. Word is born. Word is born. Yes, sir. All right. My boy Kai Zodiac just dropped a new joint. I ain't heard it yet, so y'all know what we doing. Man, know thyself. Kai Zodiac. Subscribe to his channel. K.A.
Facts.
Zodiac. Zodiac spelled with a K at the end.
Do you think you are the one?
Honestly, I don't know.
You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Bullets. A boomerang.
Stand your ground.
Murder. And suicide.
Yeah, man. Eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
See something, say something.
Squale. Jake. Slave theory. greed plus ego over fear. That's slavery.
Yeah. Charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Question. Do not answer questions.
Question everything.
Fear is an illusion. Fear is cap.
Facts. Vibrate love.
Forgiveness is the highest vibration of love.
So, do something charitable for your enemy and end the beef.
Take some motor oil down there to San Francisco Police Department so they can keep the lubricants moist. Hey, wise man told me, healthy people heal thy people.
Because we all know hurt people gonna hurt people.
Damn Skipper. Free the old man. Free Larry Hoover.
Free Chief Malik. Free Jeff Fort.
Free all the guys, man.
Yeah, man. Prison is slavery.
Be like St. Pedro. Keep your eyes on Yahusha and walk on H2O.
Man. Move mountains.
Mountains? Man, it's gonna take a lot to do that, my brother.
Nah, bro. All we need is the faith of a mustard seed. And we got way more than that.
Word?
Get out the way.
Mustard seed. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Let's get this message out here. Give us some topics and some guests. Let us know if you want to sit with us.
I'm gonna let you in a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. Through and through, balls to bones.